So, hi. Uh, First of all, let me welcome all the teachers and the students on this platform. And I entrust my words once again that I call each one of you as either a teacher or a student. The reason being calling each one of you as a teacher or a student is in one or the other phase of life, we are either teaching or we are learning. I think the part of living is derived from these two beautiful terms, that is teaching and learning. To begin, I want to quote a wonderful doha, a two-liner written by an amazing poet of all times, that is Sant Kabir, and it goes like this. गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंदियो बताए. It says that when the teacher and the God are standing together, whose feet I should touch first? And it recites that I should touch the teacher's feet first, because teacher is the one who will show the path towards God, to reach God, to attain God. And on the last phase, Kabir Das says that जाति न पूछो साधु की पूछ लीजियो ज्ञान मोल करो तलवार की पड़ा रहन दो man. It is like when you have a sword, you are buying the sword or you are owing the sword because of the sword and not because of the box to cover it up. Same way, when you have a teacher, take the teachings, inculcate them into your real life, make them the lighting for your darker nights, and ignore the things which might not add value to your life. There can be a teacher who have all goods, all bads in their life, but take out those goods and ignore the bads, because our duty is to learn. Secondly, I strongly affirm and believe that everyone is a teacher and a student. Reason being, I also have a child of 8-year-old. There are things that I have learned from her, and there are things that even my wife teaches her. So considering the rigma of the ages, we each one of us are playing those roles. So why not to make it a universal role? Teacher, or I would say the teaching ends only when we stop learning. But learning is the way of life, because when we were born, just remember the things we learned, we were being taught, I would say, instead. So the first thing what we did after coming out of the womb of our mother, that we breathe, and nobody taught us breathing. We simply learned breathing, and teaching is a parameter that we need, along with learning, that we need to exercise till we are breathing. And to enrich your life or to glamorize your life, what we need to do is you learn the way in such a way that when you stop, or when your journey of breathing will end, the entire life of yours will be seen as a teaching, and the next generation that will come up will learn something out of you. Secondly, about the teacher's life, I would comment that one of the best teachers we ever get, easily accessible 24/7 across the globe, are the books. I strongly believe that one who read book or books won't live a single life. They live multiple lives. When you read an author, you live life of an author. Teacher is more fond of a student than the parent. I remember when I was a child, and when we used to wander on streets and doing some naughty things. So whenever the senior guys used to see us, so they did not ask ever to any one of us that whose kids you are. Instead, they asked, who is your teacher? Who taught you this? So the blame game will go on a teacher. Now, what if I have learned something bad out of reading a book? The intention of book is to deliver something good, but I gained it wrong. Likewise, I would like to refer, instead of taking names, there are many movies, intention of whom is to groom ourselves. But many years ago, I read news, and we all must have witnessed that people saw few movies and got inspired and did something of a criminal nature. So this is also learning. Immaterialities of negative nature. But that maturity, as it is rightly said into the serenity prayer, that we need to understand the difference, that the things we can and the things we cannot. Teacher's life is successful. We all believe. How many of you believe that your teacher is a successful teacher or your teacher was a successful teacher? I believe that each one of us will raise our hands with pride and honor. Reason being, we all, who all are there at any stage of life, at any phase of life, whatever the area that we are contributing to society by doing a business or by doing a job or immaterial, what else we are doing, every teacher or their life is successful only and only when their students become successful. Reason being, the moment when you attain success, you might realize how that glitter shows into your parents' eyes, your spouse eyes, your kids' eyes, your well-wishers' eyes. But knowingly, unknowingly, we all ignored the glitter, the real glitter that comes out of the eyes of the teachers. In recent times, I have been to a get together of my 10th standard, and it was almost after decades. Not just a decade, but decades, I would say. And the thought that came to me today while thinking of this few minutes ago, that we all do get-togethers of teachers, going back to schools, colleges. How many of you remember doing get-together with your parents? No one. Reason being, see, it is not disrespecting parents, but it is respecting more of teachers than parents, because our subconscious sense knows that who is that craftsman who have made this beautiful craft. I would say beautiful craft because we all are unique, wonderful, gesturous, and a perfect example to quote on earth. The second thing that I want to elaborate is about the relation between teaching and learning. Now, how it works. See, a beautiful line that comes is that when you teach, you learn. I remember my college days when we used to study my masters. So what we used to do to understand the clarity of the subjects, that we used to discuss within groups. Now, what is that discussion? One is commenting on a context and others are learning. So one is indirectly teaching. How I learned making tea. I saw someone making tea repeatedly in my family, and that's how I put my feet into their shoes and I carried away. Same way, when you teach, you learn. So when you teach, you learn. And if you learn, you can teach. So I would say that this, with this context and a brief sigma, I want to salute each and every living, non-living aspects of life, because it is not just teacher who is there into the school who taught us, but sometimes it is a stone that taught us, sometimes it is a brick that someone thrown on us and it taught us. As it is said that when people throw lemons at you, make lemonade. So same way we should also thank those who are throwing those lemons. So to conclude the shell, I would say that teaching and learning are not separate acts. They always go hand in hand and they have to be kept hand in hand. Before I conclude, I want to put two lines about myself. So my name is BasavRaj Bakali. I am founder and learning partner at BB's Learning. We don't teach anything, we help everyone to learn. That's why by preface also I keep myself as the learning partner. There are two contexts that we talk about. One is self-awareness and second one is self-awakening. I request each one of you to visit BB's Learning. It's capital B and apostrophe yes, and learnings ends with yes. On YouTube, you can check out my handle at Instagram also. With this arena, I would be leaving my contact details in the comments. I would be happy to get in touch with you for any assistance and any learning that we could share. With a small thought, I want to end up that stay young, stay happy, keep pushing your limits, and be limitless. Thank you so much.